So let's start. So welcome to the Deal Finders Corner. So it's your weekly property talk show brought to you by Property Filter, hosted by myself, Guillaume Black, your favorite Frenchman, the CEO and co-founder at Property Filter. So it's the UK's highest rated platform to find deals. We are on a mission to empower property investors and deal sourcer, our property investor and deal sourcer members to find 1,000 deals this year, thanks to the Property Filter blueprint. The purpose of your weekly Deal Finder Corner events, like this one, is to give you the best of the available resources, and that's inviting expert guests who will share with you the latest and the most current strategies and tactics, and even their secrets about what actually works in terms of finding and making deals right now, and the reality of systemizing and running a high-performance business in property. So it's my immense pleasure to inaugurate the Deal Finders Corner with my good friend and mentor, Entrepreneur of the Year and Amazon best seller author, one of the UK's leading property entrepreneurs who crafted the Property Entrepreneur Blueprint itself over the past 20 years, applied the blueprint for himself and built a 10 million portfolio, which enabled him to be financially independent and retire at the age of 35, whilst developing the Property Entrepreneur Program to enable people like you and I to do the same, Mr. Daniel Hill. Welcome, Dan. It's really great to have you on board today.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. Nice to be alongside you to do the
yes, I know.
inaugural launch of the Deal Finders Corner. Very exciting. Hopefully we can give a lot of value to everyone today and basically make sure everyone does more deals and makes more money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's worth saying, like one of the last thing in your bio is about Property Entrepreneur Program. So it's worth saying that I've been a student of yours for the last 3 years, and I think, almost to the date now, 3 years ago and a bit, I joined the your 3-day event. The Property Entrepreneur Blueprint. I can't remember. I think I paid like £4,000 or something at the time. It felt like a lot of money, but nothing was ever the same after that. So I think Property Filter is where it is today because thanks to your teaching, I could rewire my brain basically and learn a few things, that really helped me to get where it is now. So I'm really looking forward to you sharing some of your secrets to the people on the journey as well, and have some time for some questions on the other side. So over to you.
Amazing. So thank you very much for having me on, and equally credit to yourself for putting the blueprint into practice, because Property Filter is it's niche, it's crest of a wave, it's using all of the new advances that we're seeing in tech, deal sourcing, really getting the best results from deals. And what we'll look at today is how do we use things like Property Filter to leverage our interests in property investment and development to basically get more deals, make more money, and have fun doing it. Because there's loads of deals out there. But the reality is some people get all of them and the majority of people are running around getting very few. And we don't want to do any deals that don't make money. And Property Filter, like the tagline says, it really is where all the deals are. This doesn't have to be complicated for you. It's the same for building businesses. So as we go into property entrepreneurship, my expertise is more in business than it is property. And what we need to think about today is when you're using Property Filter as a tool, I want you to think about a number of other tools that you can use to leverage up your time, energy, and effort to get more deals. For any of you I've not had the pleasure to speak for previously, I've been in business for 20 years this year. I've started, systemized, scaled, bought and sold over 40 different companies. And whether they're small lifestyle businesses with low overheads, high margins, or you want to build national, international, multi-million-pound organizations, I've had and have companies all along the spectrum, and I can guarantee you this stuff works for all of them. If you're not already subscribed to the Property Entrepreneur Blueprint podcast, this is where you can get all of this for free. So the blueprints that we use is basically the simple, straightforward explanation of how to achieve otherwise complex and difficult tasks in a really easy manner. Every Tuesday, we release a blueprint completely for free. You get lots of value in there. Take the blueprints from there, the support and tech that you get with Property Filter, training expertise you're doing in property investment, pull it all together, you'll be absolutely laughing. I did exactly the same, and it enabled me to retire, in inverted commas, financially independent at 35, and most recently buy a £200,000 Rolls Royce, which cost me absolutely zero of my own money. And if you're interested in that sort of stuff, how to get cars, houses, live for free, on the Blueprint podcast, there's episodes on that. And if that's your bag, you can get it for free. So I've got two sort of mantras to kick this off with you to sort of frame what we're talking about. And the first is that success and failure are very predictable. And what I mean by this is deal sourcing using platforms like Rightmove, calculators like Deal Stackers, and software like Property Filter. It's quite binary whether you're going to get the deals or you're not. Success and failure are very predictable. It's really not this complicated thing that only the sort of unique and magical among us understand. And this is the secret to it. So I'm going to ask you to jump in the chat box now. For those of you that are on Zoom, those of you that are watching on Facebook might have to just have your own little dialogue in there. Just jump in the chat box and tell me on your screen now is an image. What is this image of on your screen right now? Ah, Steve's got it straight away. Flaming baked Alaska. So a flaming baked Alaska is by definition the most complicated dessert in the world to make. The reason, because it's frozen on the inside, it's roasted, it's baked meringue on the outside, and it's on fire on top. So you imagine trying to make that with no ingredients, no recipe, no mentorship, you wouldn't stand a chance. However, if you get somebody who knows what they're doing, get the recipe, get the right ingredients, follow it step by step, and a few trial and errors, you will be able to make the most complicated thing. The only two things you need is the blueprint, the recipe, the ingredients, the blueprint, how to do it. And then you need to go and execute. And this is where people actually fall down. It's not knowing what to do. It's going out there and actually doing it. The Blueprint podcast, if you're not already subscribed, every Tuesday you'll get a different recipe, a different set of ingredients, a different blueprint. It's my life's work boiled down on every platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to it. So it's the Blueprint podcast, Daniel Hill. And every Tuesday you'll get a game-changing blueprint. No secrets, nothing held back. It's my lifetime's work. And you can go and implement these recipes and ingredients literally for free. What you'll realize when you listen to these podcasts is there's only really 5 problems that you're going to need to overcome. So whether you're a brand new investor, just starting out and you're doing your first few deals, or you're an established investor and you're using Property Filter to scale up and do more and scale up a trading business, or you're an investor looking to become a developer, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum. There's only 5 problems you need to overcome. And the aim of the game in property is to achieve a genuine 7-figure net wealth with a 6-figure income, which enables you to have financial independence so you don't have to worry. And there's 5 problems. I'm going to take you through this, and then we're going to do a Q&A to help you specifically on whichever one affects you. So the first is a lack of clarity. And most investors just don't have the clarity they need to do the best deals. The aim of the game here is to do more deals, make more money, and have fun at the same time. Most investors don't know what deals they're looking for. But when you do know, everything can become a lot more focused using your criteria, your searches on the data you pull from Property Filter, using strategies, so not observing the masses and following, looking at what is niche, what's crest of a wave, what's exciting, and go and do deals where there's low competition, high margins, and you can get ahead of the game. So the way we overcome this problem is with using either a crest of a wave strategy in deal sourcing or a niche strategy. And what you want to be doing is setting your criteria up, whether it's on Rightmove, whether it's on Property Filter, whether it's in your meetings with your directors and business partners. And what you want to do is look for the deals that are crest of a wave, brand new, low competition, high margin, nobody else is doing it, or they're niche. You're going to go into converting one of the new searches on Property Filter is being able to filter 1-bed apartments that could turn into 2-bed apartments. Maybe your niche is going to be buying 1-bed apartments in the NG1 postcode, converting 1-bed tired professional accommodation into 2-bed student apartments. Crest of a wave or niche. And what you'll find is you get low competition and high margins. Here's some deals that I've done in the last sort of couple of years using that. So this was I bought this in the middle of pandemic for 255 grand. I used a niche strategy called B1 PD C3. So it's basically B1 permitted development to C3 residential with a high density scheme, which enabled you to come underneath national space standards and achieve a ridiculous yield. I bought it for 255, spent about 650 developing it into 20 apartments. And after finance, debt, construction costs, we created about £800,000 in equity, and it kicks out after refinance, getting all of our money back plus 150k, £6,000 a month profit every month, no voids, no maintenance, no management costs, on a 5-year lease to a housing association. Niche and crest of a wave. Another one which you've probably not heard many people doing is private schools. You know, there's not many people doing them. I'm buying private schools. I bought this one last year, and I bought it below market value because it's very niche. You know, there's not many people buying private schools. I then leased it back to leased it back to an operating company, which was the actual school on a 10-year lease. And then on a full FRI index linked lease, I end up with £350,000 equity because I bought it 350k below market value on the agreement that I would lease it back to them for 10 years, basically a sale and rent back. And then that gives me on a 10-year lease, £10,000 a month profit, no voids, no maintenance, no operating costs, because it's niche, it's crest of a wave, and it's observing the masses and doing the opposite. And then finally, one of the most recent ones that you might have seen when we talk about crest of a wave is MAPD. And specifically here, ABPD, which is airspace, MAPD, which is converting what's now the E-class from E-class into residential, up to 1,500 square meters. And this is a block that I bought in the middle of the pandemic. I bought it cash, unconditionally, reasonable amount of risk, but having a MAPD meant I paid £34 a square foot for it, whereas we'd normally pay up to about £90 a square foot. And if we get 88 apartments in there, we'll create about £3 million in equity. If it's towards the lower range and we just get the existing building, 44 apartments, that'll be £1 million in equity. And again, after refinance, getting most of our money back out, that will generate between 8 and 20k per month net profit. It's not just things that we use. Our property entrepreneurs use the same. Jay used the strategy that we use called back-to-back leasing, where you lease a property from a landlord, lease it on to somebody else. So lease it for 5 years, lease it to somebody else, and take the margin in the middle. He's done over 30 deals now, makes over £10,000 a month using this strategy. And on one deal alone, he made over £100,000 across the 5-year lease. So it's an absolute brainer. No brainer. So you want to do these things, get these deals, low competition, high margin, low capital input, maximum return, but you're going to run out of time pretty quick. And when you start to use these crest of wave strategies and tech like Property Filter to get all these leads coming in, you're going to run out of time pretty quick. So what we want to do is think about it as a business. In the middle of the pandemic, I owned about 25 different companies around the country. There's no way I could have run them from the back of my narrowboat in the middle of lockdown unless I built a load of systems. And everybody thinks that, so I'm at my house now. And again, I own businesses. I'm a business owner, not a business operator. And if you want to go from doing sort of 1 or 2 deals a year to building a proper portfolio or a sourcing company, you're going to have to systemize the process. And not only does this mean that it's highly scalable, it means you can get the same results of buying deals and doing deals without having to do them yourself. Those 3 deals that I just shared with you, up to the point that I purchased them, I'd never seen them. And bearing in mind, I've spent millions of pounds of cash buying them. I never saw them. I never viewed them. I had a team with a bunch of systems to do it for me. So how do you get the same? It's really, really straightforward. In order to systemize your business, you can start buying multiple deals. You just need a map to the business. We need to build a team, granted, but before that, we need to have a map to the business to show people, how does it work? Where do they go? What does it do to work? What do you need to do to make it work? And there's just 3 steps to it, really, really straightforward. So the first is your methodology. And this is basically your intellectual property. You know, there's a way that you do what you do in your business. And this is your This is the secret to how your business works. So you just write it down. Go on Property Filter, set these criteria, review these deals, refine the searches, stick them in the appraisal, tweak the refurb costs, do your DD, offer on them, etc. Whatever that cycle is, that's the methodology. The second is, it's all well and good writing down what they've got to do, but how do they do it? And this is your training documents. If you go into any of our companies, there's a methodology for everything, and then there's a training document for everything. And this would be on onboarding, training documents, operations manuals, all the things that you might think are boring. But if you can make 100 grand a year or £1 million a year from deals that you haven't even seen because you've systemized the business, everything starts to become a lot more attractive. And then finally, if you're going to delegate it, we have to be able to track performance. And this is the final step, MAP, methodology, assets, performance. And performance is tracking your KPIs. So 1 to 3 KPIs per department or team member. And that shows you deals sourced, viewings conducted, offers made, conversions accepted, deals got through to completion, actual budget net margin, actual net margin. And it just makes it really, really straightforward. Hopefully that makes it sound accessible to you, because there's endless people that have done this before you. Rachel Davis was a very, very successful lady in the corporate world, went into property, built a portfolio to leave her job, and then ended up with a job running her sourcing and investment company. Wasn't necessarily what she signed up for. Came on our 3-day blueprint, understood the map, and within 6 months, she'd systemized the business, delegated the processes to one VA, and then that summer, she went on a 2-week holiday with her husband and her children, and for the first time in her life, did 0 work. So not only was she doing deals, letting rooms, managing refurbs, sorting maintenance, it was being done without her while she was on holiday. And this is the aim of the game from property. You don't want to be talking to tenants. You don't want to be stuck in that noise. So the second problem is systems. Get a map in place, systemize the company. The third, if you're serious about this, is you need to make money. And I've been in business and property for 20 years this year, and I've been training property entrepreneurs for over a decade. And what never ceases to surprise me is how many people are doing deals that just fundamentally do not make money. You know, they're fundamentally not doing, they're doing deals that would never make money. What we need to do is make sure you understand, 1, how to do deals that make money, and 2, how to get wealthy from the process. And this is a very straightforward blueprint to understand about wealth creation. This is what we call the wealth hierarchy. And whether you're doing your first deal or your deal number 1 or deal 101, there's 3 layers to getting wealthy. Like genuine, high net worth, financial independence, never have to worry about it again. 3 layers. The first is cash flow. And what you want to do is you want to do deals that generate cash flow. So this is cash flow by definition is money that comes in every month without fail. So when you're doing your property filter setups, it's going to be things like HMOs, it's going to be service accommodation, it's going to be letting agent, building or buying letting agencies. It's that consistent sort of cash flow that comes in every month, like your salary. Once you've broken even, let's say you live off 2 grand a month and you've got 2 grand coming in from HMOs, most people then think, you know, what's better than 2 grand a month, 10 grand a month or 20 grand a month? And they build this ginormous portfolio, they lose control, they think more revenue means more profit, really doesn't, and they just don't progress. Once you've broken even, you want to move to profit, which is lumps of capital. And these are completely different strategies. Where your filters initially on property filter might be for things like HMOs, once you can break even, stop doing cash flow strategies because they're noisy, they're a pain in the backside. You wouldn't want to retire on them, and start doing things that generate lumps of cash. So there might be 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, £500,000 in a lump of cash, but it doesn't come in every month. It might not even come in every year. It might take 6, 12 or 28 months to come in. But when it does, it lands in a big lump like an end of year bonus. You don't use it to put food in the fridge. You don't use it to put the kids in school. You don't use it to pay the mortgage. You use it to increase your net wealth. And when those large capital events happen, you then end up on your balance sheet increasing your net wealth. And then what we do is move from level 2 to level 3, where we buy assets. And basically, assets are your pension pot. This is the top layer of wealth creation. If cash flow is generating you 2K from HMOs, you're living off 2K. But do a load of profit strategies, flips, build to sell, developments, deal packaging for people, get those lumps of cash coming in, sell a company, flip a company, and then buy boring assets, single lets, blocks of apartments, commercial buildings, anything you can put on a 5, 10, 20-year lease, get a low risk, low return, and basically repeat level 2 and level 3 until the money you're making from your assets, your single lets, your blocks of flats, is replacing the 2K or 20K a month you need for cash flow. And then the day will come when you don't want to work anymore. Someone's dependent on you. The market changes. Google release a new app, which completely floors the whole, whatever it is, the whole business you're doing. And the thing goes pop, but it doesn't matter because you've bought the assets, you're protected forever, and you've got that genuine financial independence. Cash flow, being self-employed, is financial freedom. Never have to work for anyone. Having enough assets to cover your overheads from cash flow is genuine financial independence. You would never have to work again. Kevin Edge is a great example of somebody who's done this. He did our three-day blueprint event, understood the difference between cash flow, profit, and asset, and realized he was running a profit company where he was building high-end extensions, making multiple 6 figures a year, very lucrative, but it was constant feast and famine. He never felt like he was getting that security he was looking for. What he did was he quickly then changed his strategy to do build to rent rather than build to sell. He then did a big block of HMO apartments in Hemel Hempstead, built it, rented them out, built a portfolio that covered his cash flow, so he didn't have to work in a profit business. And then he actually closed that business down, could live off the cash flow. And then he went and started a development company where he's doing multiple 7 and 8 figure deals, making significant multiple 7 figure annual profits, and then using that capital to buy boring stock, blocks of flats, blocks of apartments, single let properties, paying down mortgages, and going through the levels. If this is the sort of stuff you want to know and you want to sort of progress your property journey, on Instagram, twice a day, I post free tips, trainings. Like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years, 10 years training it. I'm more than happy now to give this stuff away for free. At the end of this, we're going to have a Q&A. Ask me any secret you want to know about business, success, investment, economics. I just want to give you as much value as I can. And if you follow me on any of the social media platforms, you get that every single day, 60 seconds to 3 minutes, completely free of charge. Instagram is propertyentrepreneur_. Facebook is Dan Hill. LinkedIn is Daniel Hill. And YouTube is Daniel Hill, the Blueprint Podcast. All of this stuff is free. And if you want to get it, if you're serious about it and you want to take it to the next level and you want some more intense training, whilst the online and the blueprints are all free, you can actually come and spend 3 days with us. We run 2 events a year. Every person that I've referenced on this call has attended that. Guillaume is where Guillaume met us and started his property filter journey. And at the end of this session, I'm going to give you a discount, cheapest you'll ever be able to get in. It's literally what it costs us, hand on heart, to host the event. And you can come spend 3 days at the 5-star Belfry, 3-course meals included, 100% money back guarantee, cost price, absolute no-brainer. So stay tuned to the end and I'll give you a code to get you into that. And you'll leave with the full 12-month blueprint we use, start to finish, after being taught it for 3 days, print it out, bring it home, stick it on the wall and put it into practice. The fourth problem is a lack of capacity. So you've got your strategy nailed, you've got the clarity, systemized it. You're going to get to a point in your business where you have a lack of capacity and you only really need to recruit for 2 reasons. One is bandwidth. There's just not enough there's not enough bandwidth in the business, you need more manpower or expertise. You need a videographer, you need a graphic designer, you need a administrator, ops person, salesperson, etc. They're the only two reasons you need to recruit. When you start off, you'll have a mindset if you want to do everything yourself because you're a control freak. We want to get as quickly as possible to the mindset of do nothing and delegate everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm busy. I'm always busy. But half the time I'm on one-to-one calls with one of my senior team, or I'm writing a new process or marketing campaign for one of the businesses, or I'm doing an investment proposal to raise £3 million to buy a new school. I'm doing my high value tasks and then I'm delegating everything else to the team around me. Try and get into the mindset of not thinking about what you need to do on a daily basis or when you're going to have time to do all this stuff, like run your property filter account. Don't think, what have you got to do or when are you going to do it? Think, who can I train to do this for me? And of course, if it's in your head, you blueprint it, create the map, and then we delegate it. When you're going to delegate these things, there's 4 different types of people you need in your business. And this is using a test called Wealth Dynamics. Wealth Dynamics is a psychometric test which shows what profile of person you are. And based on that, you should be doing a certain amount of tasks and everything else should be done by somebody else. So the green ones at the top are called dynamos. And this is what I am. I'm a dynamo. High frequency thinker, head in the cloud, million miles an hour, great at starting things, see the future, naturally optimistic, bang the drum, take the people to party, get the thing going. After that, you've got blazers, and blazers are more like salespeople, or they're extroverts, they're networkers. They're people who know everybody. They want to be out there talking, shaking hands, meeting and greeting people. They're your blazers that are going to take this idea and this business forward. There'll be your salespeople, your lettings managers, your networkers, your BDMs, your business development managers, things like that. When you go towards the bottom, these are tempos. And you're going to need tempos to run the business on a daily basis because blazers will get too distracted. Dynamos are on to the next thing. Tempos are in the moment. They're sensory. They're like very good at just whatever you throw at them, they'll deal with. So things like they would work in like the emergency services, same skill set every day, turn up, do what they need to do. Customer service, project management, being that sort of front of house, looking after the business. And then black on the left is your steals. And your steals would be attention to detail, ops, legal, admin, finance, bookkeepers, etc., etc. And you want to build your business out around these seasons. And at the top would be starting. So you think about anything you're starting that's new and creative. Blazes would be about scaling and sales. Tempo's all about service and sustainability, keeping the thing moving. And then steals is all about stats, KPIs, performance, getting the data out of the business. And when you understand this, it will give you a really highly leveraged position to take the business forward. And Shiv, who joined us for our 3-day blueprint, when he started Property Entrepreneur, he was doing 5 deals a year and he was making $2,500 per deal. Through systemizing it and then delegating it to a team based around the world, VAs, EAs, PAs, assistants, using that model, he managed to scale the business from doing not 5 deals a year at $2,000, but to 60 plus deals. And it says here at over 10 grand, it's actually over £13,000 per deal now. And he's just come back from living 3 months in Valencia because he's used this blueprint to systemize it, to scale it, and to get the rewards and the fruits from owning the business without having to physically be there running it himself. Of course, he's leading it. He's speaking to the senior team, but he's doing it from anywhere in the world. He's making more money. He's having fun doing it. And he's got experts around him who are focused in their niche. And then finally, the last problem is a lack of leads. And whether you're selling a product or service, or you're looking for deals, there is a way that you can systemize the process, get better access to market, use smarter tech, smarter data, smarter processes. And in the deal side of things, we're going to use Property Filter. get access to that data, that pipeline, that automated filtering that you're not going to get, and the visibility of the stats you're not going to get from any other platform. And then we're going to build a business that enables us to attract investors, clients, customers, and sell products and services at the highest price point with the maximum margin and low competition. You see, 95% of businesses in property are running around, they're competing on price, they've got high competition, low margin, but 5% of them have got more deals than they know what to do with. They're charging high price points and making maximum margins, and people are queuing up to do business with them. Property Entrepreneur is in its 10th year of business this year, and every single year since 2013, it's been oversubscribed. The last 3 years, for the 3-day event, we've had to ferry people in from the Lee Marston Hotel on minibuses because there's physically not enough room in the venue. Now, these are expensive, high price point events and programs, but how are there people queuing up for these when some people can't sell a £500 a month rent-to-rent program? Well, the reason here is not only do you develop a world-class business and product and service, but we make it oversubscribed. And what you want to do is raise your profile, raise your value, lower your competition, and create a position in the market where you are the market leaders. The blueprint we use here for social media is called the Oversubscribed Blueprint Calendar. And if you look at my social media, a lot of the award-winning market leaders and award winners, social medias in the property industry, they use this platform, this blueprint that we've created. And now that you know it, you'll probably see it. So what it is 7 days of content, post every day. On a Friday, spend a maximum of 1 hour creating 7 posts. Then give it to your assistant, a PA, a VA to schedule. And with these 7 posts, you will cover all bases. So Monday is about motivation. Post something that's going to motivate your audience. Get them excited, enthusiastic, inspire them. Monday is something to motivate. Tuesday is the journey. Everyone loves to go on a journey. Guillaume's target this year is to secure 1,000 deals through the Property Filter platform. A journey that he could share every Tuesday is, here's this week's update on our journey to 1,000 deals. Congratulations to the 12 people who secured one last week. We've added another 30 deals to the pipeline. Tuesday is the journey, whether it's a weight cut or a target of doing 1,000 deals or making £1 million, whatever it is, take them on the journey. Wednesday is walk the talk. So Wednesday is, there's so many people on social media who have far less credibility than you, but far more audience and attention. The reason for that, how do we overcome that? The reason is, the way is to show you do it. If you go on my social media, I'll be showing you deals where I made £1 million in a single deal, how I made £500,000 on a 50k refurb. I'm walking the talk. I'm showing you deals. I'm showing you stuff that I've done in practice. You can see behind the scenes. So Wednesdays, walk the talk. Thursdays is the methodology. So your business, we talked earlier about methodology. You do something in a way nobody else can do it. When you do the 3-day Property Entrepreneur Blueprint, you will get the methodology that I've used to build, buy, start, systemize, scale over 45 different businesses over the last 20 years. That is my blueprint. And on a Thursday, we share the blueprint. And every Tuesday on the podcast now, you get another version of the blueprint. What's your blueprint? Show people the methodology that you use to achieve what you do. Friday is basically, the idea is to spike the algorithm before the weekend. So it's called Food for Thought. And what you want to do is post something like a recommendation, something controversial, asking for people's opinion. Just get people commenting and engaging, because everyone likes to offer their opinion. Do that on a Friday. And then Saturday is a screenshot. So a screenshot of a client that's got great reviews, a Google review that you've just got that was really good, Trustpilot reviews, success story, case study, screenshot somebody that works with you that's been pleased. And then Sunday is something personal. Everyone wants to see behind the scenes. What's that personal thing you can share on a Sunday? Out for a walk with your partner, your kids, chilling with your dogs on the sofa, whatever it is you're doing, share that on a Sunday. And that will give you If you do all those posts, it will cover every element of social media that you need. One of the clients who came on our 3-day blueprint and got the content calendar blueprint, if you go on her Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn today, you will see that this is the blueprint she used. She already had a successful property portfolio. She systemized it using our blueprint, and then she wanted to become a professional speaker and a paid published author. So what she did was she used the content calendar to raise her profile. She created a brand called from CIA, she used to be in the Secret Service, to CEO. And within 12 months, she had a paid publishing deal to write a book. She had 3 publishers fighting over it. And if you go, I'm going to the airport tomorrow at East Midlands. You go in there, you will see at most UK airports, or in fact, I don't know, maybe national, most airports, a copy of her book in the business bestsellers. It's called CIA to CEO, which she created on Property Entrepreneur. And then using that book, which she got a publishing deal for, coupled with a social media to raise her profile, her dream was to do a TED Talk. And at the end of last year, she got invited to do a TED Talk and completed her journey using this. She still does exactly the same today. So wherever you are in your journey, there's only 5 problems you need to overcome. And the aim of the game by overcoming these 5 things is to maximize your deal flow. Hopefully you've got value from tuning into this today. If you want more free stuff, this is literally, people pay 30,000. Our top course is £30,000 a year plus VAT for 12 months. It's application only. It's oversubscribed with a waiting list. And the things that I teach them are the things that I share for free on the podcast, social media, and I've shared some of them with you today. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, jump on there, get some more free stuff. The Blueprint podcast last year was rated number 7 in the UK of the number 7 property podcast in the UK. And it's not really even a property podcast. It is, but it's more about becoming a high net worth property entrepreneur than it is starting out as a property investor. But subscribe to this, and every Tuesday you'll get a new episode, and you've got 100 episodes to go through as a back catalogue. Each one is a blueprint: how to make more money, how to spend time working less. Every single one of them will be a game changer for you. If you want to know the blueprint that we use and the methodology, we've got a brand new prospectus coming out next week. It's printed, it's delivered to your door, it's completely free of charge. And if you go to the Property Entrepreneur website now, you can actually order yourself a copy of that, and you can join the waiting list to get one of those in the first batch when it comes out. I think we've got about 250 coming out next week. And then finally, if you are serious about being a business owner, not a business operator, and you want to work on it rather than in it, you want to genuinely create that 7-figure net wealth rather than running around just doing sort of 6-figure deals, you can do a scorecard on our website. Either go to don'ttalktotenants.co.uk or Property Entrepreneur. In fact, maybe Guillaume could pop it in the chat box for you. Don'ttalktotenants.co.uk or property-entrepreneur.co.uk. You can download all of those things for free. You can do a test, and it will show you of those 5 problems, which one you should focus on now and what you need to do to overcome it. And it will literally it takes less than 3 minutes to complete that. They're all completely for free. And for those of you, there'll only be a few of you that are serious about taking this to the next level. Before you come on Property Entrepreneur, we won't let you. Our programs start at £15,000 up to £30,000. We won't even let you think about signing up to one of those before you buy. So if you are a serious action taker and you like what you've heard today, and it's the sort of direction of travel you're going to go, the opportunity to try before you buy is one of our 3-day events. We only do these twice a year. There's limited places. We've got 5 discounted places to give you today, which is literally at cost. Hand on heart, it's the price it cost me to put this on. I've been running them for 10 years at the Belfry. 5-star accommodation, 3-course dining, all expenses, all food, refreshments included. Plus you can use the facility, the resort, for 3 days out of your business. There's only 2 dates, one in July, one in August. It's on your screen now. You get 100% money back guarantee. So there's no risk. get to the second day and you didn't like the breakfast, we shake hands. You've had a day and a half at a 5-star resort. Enjoy yourself. Give us the blueprint back. We'll refund you on the way out. Absolutely no issue, no risk. It's hosted by Adam Goff, who is award-winning entrepreneur. He's Property Entrepreneur of the Year 2019. He used this blueprint to start in just 3 years to systemize, scale, sell, and then fully retire at age 37. He now flies back from Bali. He now lives in Bali. He flies back every month to teach people like you how to do the same. You can follow him on Instagram. You'll see he's literally retired and just flies back each month to the UK to deliver these courses. And Josh, who did exactly the same, but has stayed in the UK. And Josh now, he'd never had a business ever, came on the 3-day blueprint and started his first ever business, systemized it, scaled it, and then sold it for a very significant multiple 6-figure sum. And now he runs his consultancy business, Ultimate FD, part-time, and then spends the rest of the time with his young family and has just had his second child. So if you've got value from these 5 today, there's actually 50 of these blueprints you'll get on the 3-day event. And I guarantee you'll leave it's not like a taster event. You'll leave the 3-day event with everything you need to use over 12 months, start to finish, no holes barred. You leave with every single one of these, put it on your wall, go home and execute. And it's no surprise that for 10 years, this has been oversubscribed every month and rated every year and rated world class by every delegate, every workshop, every month, every year since 2018. And there's not many companies that can say that. And for those of you who want to try before you buy, hopefully I've made it a no-brainer. Hopefully this is the stuff you're looking for. The last blueprint event we did, bear in mind we asked every single delegate, on average for all questions, all delegates, all feedback, it was rated 9.9 out of 10 across all NPS scores, which is just obviously absolutely bonkers. So for those of you who want to take part, there's only 5 places, unfortunately. Those of you on Facebook, hopefully you'll get a link to the page, and on Zoom, we'll pop it in the questions now. If you go to the domain name, www.don'ttalktotenants.co.uk, there's 2 dates to choose from, 26th to 28th of July and the 30th of August to the 1st of September. There's 5 places available today. And as a property filter community member, you can use the discount code GBLACKVIP. So all uppercase, no spaces, GBLACKVIP. And what you'll get is it won't be £4,000 plus VAT for one person. It'll be 50% off. So it's just £2,000 plus VAT. Plus you can bring a guest, a friend, a business partner, a family member for free. So basically 2 of you can spend 3 days at a 5-star resort, including 5-star accommodation, 3-course meals, use of the facilities in the resort, and the unique and proven property entrepreneur blueprint, start to finish, 2 of you for £2,000. It's basically £1,000 a head. Even if you could get a room at the Belfry, which you can't, it would cost you more than that to spend 3 days there with all of the trimmings, let alone get the blueprint that's going to step you up at the same time. So hopefully it's no brainer. Any questions we can answer in the Q&A. Otherwise, www.don'ttalktotenants.co.uk, 5 places available, and the discount code you need to use is GBLACKVIP, all capital letters and no spaces. So we've got about 15, 20 minutes left. We're going to go to a Q&A, and I'll leave this up in case any of you
Thanks very much, Dan.
Questions. Cheers, Guillaume.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. That was really valuable. Just on the offer here, I thought we had something special for the property filter guys, even on top of that.
Oh, we do. We absolutely do. You prompted me well. Not only do you get a discount, but as part of Property Filter, I will personally, as part of the community, I'll personally pay for you to have 2 months complete free use of Property Filter. So again, you can try this, 100% money back, guarantee, no risk. And you can try Property Filter at my expense. So not only can you come on the 3-day blueprint, 100% no risk, try Property Filter. I'll pay for it for 2 months. And if you don't like it after that, you don't get a return on it, no value, no obligation to proceed. But there's no other place where you can get 2 months completely free of charge. That will be paid for by me. Was that right, Guillaume?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, obviously, we work together. You helped me with quite a few things, so yeah, we thought it would be quite valuable. So these few days were really valuable for me, as you know. I've done these 3 days twice now, and I've been on the program in advance for 3 years. So people who know a little bit what we've been up to, can know the sort of things that helps. Remember what you told me the first time you met me, Dan? Let's rewire your brain, and you bloody did, So
excellent, and it's fun, right? It's not like. Yeah, would you say you've had fun over the last few years?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's a great community as well, and it's a great crowd to be around. So, yeah, when you say the average of the 5 people around you, the average is really high in the room there. So it's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say, if I did sell Property Entrepreneur, I would still, and this is again hand on heart, I would still attend as a delegate, because I don't see there's any other way to build a business and go through that 12-month cycle. So yeah, we've been doing it for 10 years, so it's unique and it's proven, and it's clearly working well for Property Filter. So should we do some Q&A?
Yeah, so we've got Steve. I think Steve's was the first question. Hi, Daniel. If your colleague Jay leased property from a landlord and then list it onto a housing association or similar on a long lease, great so far, but how do they remove the existing tenants, as they might not fall into the cohort that the association is looking to provide homes for? So that's quite a detailed question. Or how do you change tenant type in, to make your deals work, basically?
So this is a really valid point, and it's a very real challenge. Obviously, nothing's easy. But you can make it easier by using the Property Entrepreneur Blueprint and using Property Filter, but nothing's without challenges. One of the challenges with the back-to-back leasing strategy is the transition period, because you've got to get a whole HMO in many cases of tenants out before you can lease it to a third party. Now, if the landlord's really motivated, then you can agree that, they empty it, they give it to you, they empty it, they take the furniture out, they give it to you empty, and it's good to go. Some of them will be that motivated, and then it's their problem. In other cases, they'll like the idea of doing a deal with you, and they want to give you the property, but the idea of issuing whatever section notices they have to use to get the tenants out, plus dealing with the ones that don't actually leave, plus doing the negotiation, etc. Some of them just won't be interested. So you can either take it on as part of your deal and say, look, we'll take a lease on from this date and we will get rid of the tenants. Or you can do what we do, is normally say, from this date, we will serve the notices. The tenants will be due to move out on, say, let's say it's the 1st of June today. Tenants are due to move out on the 1st of August. Regardless of if they move out or not, we will take it on from the 1st of August. And then what you do is the landlord's giving you a bit of breathing space to get that notice period dealt with. But also you've then upped the ante, and you've got to be around there making sure they're packing their bags. If they're being sticky and don't want to move, you're doing deals, whatever they look like, to get them out. And it's a bit of a joy. It's a win-win. Everybody's got a bit of skin in the game.
Great stuff. Yeah. So next questions. So John says, I know Josh. Now I know the secret of his success. Yeah, the secret of quite a few people. Steve thanks you. Pauline says, I can't get the link to work. Let me. So I was trying it myself just now as well. So that's on your Don't Talk to Tenant website, Dan. Is that right?
Yeah, www.
Yeah, I seem to have the same. So when I click on the PEB dates, it doesn't open things. So I've tried right click and open in another tab, and it won't go through. So I would say maybe take a note of these and the code, the discount code, and then we'll see if.
Is the Don't Talk to Tenants.co.uk website not working?
I'm not sure, Dan. So I've just.
Let's try on my phone.
Yeah, do you mind just let me share back my screen for a second and
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
and have a look?
It has just gone through to mine, but it took a very, very long time.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think it's because there's quite a few people going through the checkout. Sometimes it's slow on mine.
Here we go. I've got it now. Yeah, it was quite slow. Yeah.
because there's quite a few of you going through the checkout, I think it's just taking a little bit longer.
Right.
This is exactly the same on mine at the minute.
Yeah, it's gone through now, just now. Okay, so let me go.
Yeah, I'm just stuck in the queue.
Let me go back to the questions. Hopefully that works. What of people who can't use property filter app well? Well, you can gift it to a friend. So you can nominate a friend in the yeah, we can gift it to a friend. That's fine. Heather, I missed the beginning. Is this recorded? So yeah, it will be the recording will be in the property filter Facebook group. So you can go and watch the beginning here again. Liz is asking, what's the link for the new blueprint copy coming out to order?
If you go to Don't Talk to Tenants, it'll be on either Don't Talk to Tenants or the Property Entrepreneur website. You can order it on there.
Right. So do you want me to put it again? Yeah. So I've gone through this training twice actually, and then the program after that. I mean, I'm a bit biased, because I seem to win a few times, but I really like it.
If you look at the awards on Guillaume's shelf behind him,
all of these,
he's won pretty much every award in the book, and obviously the result and successes speak for themselves.
Simon, so awesome stuff. Thanks, Daniel. What was the most effective strategy to find investors to sell deals to? Well,
I would say
perspective. I would say
probably I mean, there's lots of different blueprints, but the one that I shared today about the content calendar, we've had a deal sourcing company since 2014, so probably nearly 10 years. And every year we've been oversubscribed. The reason is we spend 9 months sharing. We used to, we don't do it anymore because we literally haven't got enough capacity to deliver enough deals. And we've got a £10 million waiting list of investors that pay £1,000 each to secure a place on the waiting list. And for some of you might be sitting there thinking, that sounds absolutely bonkers. Well, when there's deal sourcing companies out there that don't have that, I think that's absolutely bonkers, because you run around trying to find a deal, you get a deal, and you don't have investors waiting. It's like the chicken and egg. It's much better to have the investors lined up, paid, in a waiting list, and then source. That's what we did. That's what Shiv does. And if you use that content calendar, use that for say 3-6 months, raise your profile, and then open once a year. We used to open in January, close in March, take deposits in March, and then from the 1st of April, we would know how many deals we had to source for the year ahead. That's what we did, and it worked really well. And also only do really, really good deals, but charge high prices. So our minimum fee for a HMO was 15K, and our minimum fee for a development is 40. And it's like, they might sound high to you, but people are happy to pay that if they're good deals.
That's great. Well, thanks a lot. So we've got Andrew, who's got a few questions. So, hi Dan, have you ever built a business or helped coach entrepreneurs in creative or entertainment industry, i.e. Like a writer, musician? That's the first question.
Not so much. My specialist more in what's called strategic entrepreneurship, which is about less. I am a creative myself, but my specialist more in like economics, looking at markets, seeing where the opportunity is, and then capitalizing. And that's primarily what I support people with.
Cool. And the second question is interesting. So I currently need to replace my boiler and get the fence mended at my main residence. What system do you have in place for your home life? So whatever Dan's got as a boiler, we're going to do an LNPG call next time. That's quite interesting.
So that's just with that. It's just getting. I actually spoke to someone yesterday, and they said, "Oh, my missus, the extractor fan in the bathroom's gone." And my missus was YouTubing how to change it. And he said she needs to understand that you don't do that. You just ring an engineer and get them to do it. He goes, that's what delegating is all about. And I said, that's step 1 of delegating. Step 2 is I would not be ringing an engineer. I'd be asking my assistant to do that for me. And it's like, do nothing, delegate everything. Get them to find the engineer, arrange the booking time, etc., etc. And it's, it's all about moving up those levels.
Yeah, really interesting. So then Steve says that the link is working for him. Then before we move to Simon, I got a one-to-one, so a direct message from Chris Jones, who is asking, why did you sell, or did you decide to sell your company, Multilet? What made you decide to sell at that point?
So I scaled multi-let up for about 7 years. I did it 2 or 3 years as like a band of brothers, bit of fun, real great fun, small team, really lucrative, 40% net margins, great. And then I sort of had a bit of a midlife crisis in like 2018, 19, and thought, I'm going to see if I've still got the energy I used to have. So I went out and started buying companies, and I rolled it up to 10 companies around the UK. And I ended up having 7 offices, 40 plus employees, a big national noisy business. But still, I was living on a narrowboat running it. So it's still very leveraged. But the reality was, in order to take it to the next level, it needed somebody that had more energy, more enthusiasm, and a different skill set. Up to about 10, 15 people is probably my sweet spot. Above that, you're looking like more semi-corporate model. And I ended up selling it to an investment group who went on to scale it even further. So I just sold it because it was stopped being fun, really.
Okay. Thank you. Simon is asking, do you have coaches that offer personal mentorship, or yourself, Daniel, and what would something like that cost?
So on Property Entrepreneur, it's built in a way that you get monthly, you get a workshop every month. So for 12 months, monthly, you get a workshop. Fortnightly, you get a live call in the Facebook group. Weekly, you can tag me or the other mentors in, and we can support you in there. That's the sort of framework for the group. Private mentoring, my private mentoring is either the board, which is £30,000 plus VAT, and that's a 12-month program. It's application only. It starts in October, but you do have to have done the Property Entrepreneur program as a first year. Otherwise, you won't be able to use it at that level. The alternative is I sit on some people's boards. So I sit on 5 third-party boards at any one time, and that's £30,000 a year. And for that, you get 45-minute board meeting once a month, and then WhatsApp messages between 10 and 2, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. But unfortunately, that's full until, I think, December this year. And again, it's application only.
Thank you very much. Leon is asking, hi Dan, I'm interested to know what are your most used apps or software that you use in your business, and what do you use them for? Mine are Evernote, Trello, and of course, Property Filter.
Yeah, Property Filter's right out there. I think for sourcing deals, it's just like nice, automated, systemized part of the business. And again, if you can have a team member run it for you, even better. I'd say the Google Suite is like my sort of go-to. So everything to do with Google Suite, Docs, Sheets, stuff like that. I'm not the best person. Like, if I was to say what I use, I don't use that many systems because I work on the business. But I've not got logins to the bank accounts, the finance software, the CRM system. I don't know what systems we use because the team run them. But I would say, if you're looking for sort of the commonly used ones, I mean, for property management, we used to use Dupix for a national agency, whereas local agencies, Arthur seems to still be just about ahead of most people. CRM system, we use Less-Annoying, CRM called Less-Annoying CRM. And then for payments, we use GoCardless and Stripe. They're the main thing. And then WhatsApp Web. If WhatsApp is your either WhatsApp Web or Slack for instant messaging, but need to get away from email. I haven't had an email on my phone. I haven't had an email account, period, for years. And I haven't had it on my phone for as long as I can remember. Email is not a good use of your time.
Great. I've got a direct one from Tim Reese, who sources. So he says, great to hear Dan again. Amazing stuff. Dan, if I source a private school, how would I, for sale, would you be interested? Thanks, Tim.
We're just in the process of purchasing our second one for this year. And then unfortunately, we're not buying any more for this year because we're basically on Property Entrepreneur. You'll do what we call a strategy day. And our strategy this year is to acquire 2 more schools and then get proof of concept in centralising them. And that's, takes a degree of discipline where people are throwing private schools at us, but we're not buying any more this year. One of the challenges you're going to come up against is the corporate, the commercial market. The one I shared with you earlier, I bought cash with my own money, so it's fine. The second one we were buying, we've had our second commercial loan pulled on it. It's getting very difficult. The market at the minute is very, very funny. buy-to-let, commercial, they're all very nervous. So you'd probably, in literally real time, you'd be looking at either cash or bridging finance or vendor finance to buy that deal. And I definitely would not. My number one rule would be don't get on bridging finance right now. Things could get a lot worse before they get a lot better.
Okay, so we've got 5 more questions, Daniel. Are we okay to go through these?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Okay, cool. So just after Tim, so we've got Heather. I can't find where the free download is on the website. What is it called, please?
So if you scroll down, if you go to the Don't Talk to Tenants website and then just scroll down, you'll see. I think it's called the prospectus.
Yeah, it's not a download. It's a physical thing you get in the post, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. If you scroll down about halfway,
yeah,
it says order free prospectus now.
Awesome. Okay, great. Then Niyama is asking, so hi Daniel, your niche you've chosen in schools, which is great. In my opinion, what other type of institutions could be good examples using this strategy, please?
I suppose what you're looking for is a legacy tenant. So the appeal with a private school is it's been running for 30 years and you can see that track record. Like, for example, the one that we're buying at the minute, the mortgage would be 80k a year, but it's been trading for 25 years and it's making 270 grand a year. So you just look at it and it just makes sense. Anything with that strength of covenant would be good. And the good thing is you are seeing some of the big corporates at the minute liquidating portfolios. So basically selling, like the guys who bought Asda, they bought Asda and then actually sold a load of the supermarket and leased them back. It used to be a strategy back in the day, 10 years ago, called sale and rent back. It's basically the same as that, but with commercial. So I don't know if there's any prime sectors. It's more looking at certain companies that want to release equity and just anything with a strong covenant that you can get a low risk, low return. You can get an 8% net yield on a full FRI index linked lease. That would be a really great place to be.
Yeah, well, fantastic, awesome. Jeff is asking, will there be a recording? I just managed to log on. So Jeff, if you are a Property Filter member, this you can watch in the Facebook group. So this is now broadcasting live and you can see it, you can watch it again here. And then I realized that our Zoom account was capped at 100 people. So I was wondering why it was, just 100 people. So the team did upgrade it halfway through the call, but I might set out a recording to everybody because it seems that people would have tried but couldn't come and join. So I'll have a look and I might send out a recording as well. Sure. Great. So what do we have? I'm also hoping there is a recording, as a colleague of mine might want to join the event with me, but they will need to see this first. Yeah. So again, same place in the Facebook group, and I'll probably send it across. I would say for the offer, so you said that it's 5 people, and it's what you kind of agreed to pay for Property Filter membership as well. So if you probably want to to have a look into this quickly as well, Okay, cheers. Thank you, and then that's it. So pretty much bang on time. So thank you, everybody. Any last words, Dan? Anything for the end? Any conclusion? Or
I think it doesn't matter what you read at the minute in the news. Everything's looking pretty bleak. Like everything's just looking very autumnal, winter-like in the economy. And I would say, despite all of that, the more negative press and issues you hear about interest rates, inflation, property market doing X, Y, Z, I would say when you hear bad news, just remember that that's what the masses are hearing. And what we talk about is observe the masses and do the opposite. Hear the bad news, understand that means low competition, and then use things like the Property Entrepreneur Blueprint and Property Filter to observe the masses, do the opposite, and go out there and just smash it and do deals anyway. I've built businesses in recessions my whole life, and without a doubt, it's the sweet spot, it's the easy place, it's where you get deals done and you make good money, so fill your boots.
Thanks so much, Dan. So thank you for joining us today, for the first Deal Finders Corner. So take up Dan's offer today, if it's right for you, if you're the right place for it. Do visit property-filter.co.uk and log on to your Property Filter account. Check out the Deal Blueprint, where you can define your goldmine area, engage with motivated sellers, assess your properties in seconds, and ultimately load your pipeline and make deals. So have an endless supply of deals, join the top 1% of people out there, become a high achiever deal finder. I hope you enjoyed today's Deal Finders Corner and looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Take care.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers, Guillaume.
Bye-bye.